2023 was an interesting year in music. In this video, we'll look at the top 50 artists of 2023 on the Billboard charts. Eminem. His old hits are still being played to this day, and his greatest hits album, Curtain Call, was one of the best-selling albums of 2023. Toosii. His hit Favorite Song was in the top 20 of the biggest songs of 2023, as it peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. Hardy. His song Truck Bed peaked at number 55 this year, and his album The Mockingbird and the Crow peaked at number 4 on the Billboard 200. Chris Stapleton. He released his album Higher this year. It peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200, and his 2015 album Traveler was the 53rd biggest album of 2023. Selena Gomez. Calm Down with Rema was one of the biggest songs of the year, and her new single Soon peaked at number 19 on the Hot 100. Miguel. His 2010 single Sure Thing became a hit again this year, peaking at number 11. It was also the 24th biggest song of 2023 on the Billboard Hot 100. Dua Lipa. She released 2 singles in 2023, Dance the Night, which peaked at number 6, and Houdini, which peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100. Billie Eilish. Her single What Was I Made For from the Barbie soundtrack peaked at number 14 this year, and placed at number 81 of the 100 biggest songs of the year. Elton John. His greatest hits album, Diamonds, from his 50-year career, was the 18th best-selling album of 2023. He has achieved incredible longevity. Rema. His summer banger, Calm Down, was the 6th biggest song of the year. The song peaked at number 3 and spent 57 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100. Rihanna. It has been a while since Rihanna dropped a new album, but her 2016 album Anti is still going strong, as it was the 55th best-selling album of 2023. Grupo Frontera. The group's single Un Por Ciento with Bad Bunny was a huge hit this year, peaking at number 5 and spending 20 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100. Fuerza Regida. Another regional Mexican band, as their collaboration with Grupo Frontera Bebe Dame was the 73rd biggest song of the year on the Hot 100. Jordan Davis. His song Next Thing You Know made it to the top 50 of the biggest songs of the year, and his 2023 album Bluebird Days was a slow burner, now certified gold by the RIAA. Lainey Wilson. She had 3 songs on the year-end list: Watermelon Moonshine, Hearts Like a Truck, and Wait in a Truck with Hardy. 2023 was her breakout year. Nicki Minaj. She had 3 successful singles this year: Barbie World and Princess Diana, both with Ice Spice, and Super Freaky Girl, which peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. She also released her new album Pink Friday 2 at the end of the year. Kane Brown. He had 2 huge hits in 2023, Thank God with his wife Caitlin Brown, and Bury Me in Georgia. His album Different Man also made it to the Billboard 200 year-end list. Juice WRLD. Even though he passed back in 2019, his albums Goodbye and Good Riddance, Legends Never Die, and Death Race for Love all made it on the Billboard 200 year-end list for 2023. Future didn't release a new album in 2023, but 2022's I Never Liked You was number 32 on the biggest albums of the year. Jelly Roll. He had his breakout year in 2023, as his single Need a Favor was a complete smash and one of my favorite songs of the year. Tyler, the Creator. Tyler released a deluxe version of his album Call Me If You Get Lost, the estate sale, this year, and his last 3 albums were all among the 200 biggest albums of 2023. Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick had a quiet 2023, but his classic albums are still selling huge figures, as Good Kid, Mad City, and Damn were all in the top 50 of the best-selling albums of the year. Doja Cat. Doja dropped her new album Scarlet in September 2023. The album peaked at number 4 on the Billboard 200. She also had a smash hit with Pentertown Red, which topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 3 weeks. Chris Brown. His 2019 hit Under the Influence had a resurgence this year, sitting at number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100 year-end list. He also released his new album 1111 in 2023, which peaked at number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. Gunna. He made his comeback this year after being locked up for months. He released his new album A Gift and a Curse, which peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200. Ice Spice. Ice Spice was one of the biggest new artists of the year, with huge features like Boy's a Liar Part 2 with Pink Panthers and Karma with Taylor Swift. She had a total of 4 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 year-end list. Lil Durk. Durk dropped his new album Almost Healed this year, which spawned the hit All My Life with J. Cole, which peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Karol G. She dropped her new album Mañana Será Bonito in 2023, which was one of the best-selling albums of the year, and her global hit with Shakira Te Quiero Grande peaked at number 1 on the Global 200. Ed Sheeran. He released his 6th album Subtract this year. The album peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 200 albums chart. Lil Uzi Vert. Uzi dropped the Pink Tape on June 30, 2023. It peaked at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and made the top 100 on the year-end chart. Beyoncé. Her 2022 album Renaissance is still going strong in 2023. It was number 22 on the Billboard 200 year-end chart. She also released her new single My House at the end of the year. Lil Baby. He released his new album It's Only Me this year, and his 2020 album My Turn was one of the best-selling albums of the year. Rod Wave. He released his new album Nostalgia this year. It debuted at the top of the Billboard 200, selling 137,000 album equivalent units. Bailey Zimmerman. He released his debut album Religiously the Album this year, following last year's EP Leave the Light On. Both projects made the Billboard 200 year-end chart. Olivia Rodrigo. Olivia released her new album Guts on September 8, 2023. The album spawned huge hits like Vampire, which peaked at number 1, and Bad Idea Right, which peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. Bad Bunny. He released his new album Nadie Sabe Lo Que Va a Pasar Mañana this year, and his 2022 album Un Verano Sin Ti was the 7th biggest album of the year. Harry Styles. His 2022 album Harry's House continued its popularity in 2023, and as it was, ended 2023 as the 15th biggest hit of the year. Travis Scott. Travis released his comeback album Utopia in July of this year. The album ended the year as the 10th biggest album of 2023 in the US. Peso Pluma. Peso Pluma had his breakout year in 2023. His album Genesis was a huge success, and he had 4 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 year-end list. Metro Boomin. The legendary producer released one of the biggest albums of 2023, Heroes and Villains, at the end of 2022. He also released the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse soundtrack this year. Post Malone. Posty released his new album Austin in July. It peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and ended the year in the top 200 of the year-end list. Miley Cyrus. Miley released Endless Summer Vacation on March 10, 2023. Flowers was the biggest song of 2023 on the Global 200 year-end list. 21 Savage. He was heavily involved in 2 of the biggest albums of the year, Her Loss with Drake and Metro Boomin's Heroes and Villains. The Weeknd. He released the soundtrack for his HBO TV show The Idol this year. Creepin' with Metro Boomin and 21 Savage ended the year in the top 5 of the Billboard Hot 100 year-end list. Zach Bryan. He was the biggest new artist of 2023 according to Billboard. Something in the Orange became one of the biggest hits of the year. Luke Combs. He released his new album Getting Old this year. It peaked on number 4 on the Billboard 200. His version of Fast Car blew up this year and ended the year at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 year-end list. Drake. He released his new album For All the Dogs this year. He also released the deluxe Scary Hours at the end of the year. He had 9 albums on the Billboard 200 year-end list. He also scored 2 number 1 songs this year, Slime You Out and First Person Shooter. SZA. She released her new album SOS at the end of 2022 after a 5-year hiatus. It was the 3rd biggest album on the Billboard 200 year-end list. Kill Bill also ended the year as the 3rd biggest song of the year on the Billboard Hot 100. Morgan Wallen. Morgan released his new album One Thing at a Time this year. It ended the year at the top, and his 2021 album Dangerous, the double album, ended the year at number 5 on the Billboard 200 year-end list. Last Night was the biggest song of the year in the US. Taylor Swift. Taylor absolutely dominated 2023. She released 2 of her re-recorded albums, Speak Now, Taylor's version, and 1989, Taylor's version this year. Her 2022 album Midnights ended the year as the 2nd biggest album of 2023. She had an astounding 10 albums on the Billboard 200 year-end list for 2023. Who was your most listened to artist of this year? Tell me in the comments below.